living on teams. It's as simple as that.
Well, one girl after another came forward, all with the same story, accusing ex-Olympic Dr. Larry Nassar of sexual abuse. Another key player in getting survivors of Larry Nassar justice is attorney Jamie White. Now, he was the mastermind behind securing an unprecedented $500 million settlement for 332 survivors from Michigan State University. Now, I say unprecedented because there was really no provision for bringing this action. And it's true that Michigan State could have paid nothing, correct?
Arguably, there were significant issues associated with the statute of limitations. Most of these claims would have been time barred. The law allowed for anything within 3 years to be brought. Most of these claims were outside of that scope.
Did you face criticism for taking on such a big university?
There were several of my colleagues that suggested that I was ruining my career and that I was going to go broke. There were people within my firm that thought it wasn't a good idea. The law was against us. There's no getting around that.
What made you so passionate about this?
Well, first of all, two of the young women that I represented 50 of these women, and two of them were close family friends. I had known them since they were little girls. I'm a father. I have a mother. I have a wife, grandmother. So for me, it was very, very personal. And this was my city, and it was my university. It was something that I thought needed to be righted.
Well, one person dedicated to making sure the world does not forget about the atrocities that Larry Nassar committed and the lessons to be learned from them is author and journalist Abigail Pesta, whose book, The Girls, is probably the most thorough account of this case. Abigail, you put your heart and soul into this. I said before, it is a courageous account, and people had to be willing to talk to you with no censor. This could not have been easy to do.
As a journalist, I often write about women fighting back against crime and injustice. And I was very interested in this story because pretty soon after the scandal broke, I interviewed a young woman and her mother, Lindsay Lemke, who Jamie also knows, and Jamie helped me connect with them. And they told me that, here they were trying to sort through this. Lindsay had been a gymnast at Michigan State. She had been abused hundreds of times. She didn't realize it because she was a kid. And she and her mother sat down and said their family was coping with this realization, this terrible realization of abuse. And they were kind of getting blamed for it. People were, friends on Facebook were saying, how didn't the parents know? Why didn't the kids tell? And I just thought, oh my God, here's this family dealing with this travesty and they're getting blamed. And I thought, let's help people understand how this happened. And so Grace, Emma Ann, their courage, their bravery to tell these stories, that's what helps people understand, and that's how we stop this kind of abuse in the future. I don't think people realize he got away with this for almost 30 years.
Wow.
His very first survivor, she first met him in 1988. So she's in her mid-40s. Emma Ann, his very last survivor, mid-teens. That shows the range. And all of these women sharing their stories, they show how, through the decades, he managed to manipulate families, kids, the community. It pains me to hear Leslie say she blames herself. The blame is on the predator. And this book, these stories, these women's bravery, they explain how it happened, who enabled him, who didn't listen. Girls started reporting him back in the 90s to coaches, to counselors, to the police. No one believed the girls. They all believed the doctor. This is how things change. I just can't thank you guys enough.